friends. Welcome to your Astrology Forecast Tarot Reading and Yoga class for the week of June 9th through the 15th. My name is Natasha, also known as Nurse Natasha. If you're new here, welcome. If you're old here, welcome back. Again, this is going to be an astrological forecast. So we're going to talk about the astrology for the week. This is going to be a collective tarot reading, so congratulations if you made it here. You're part of the collective. I set the intention that this finds who it needs to find. And then at the end of this, we do a yoga class to channel those energies in a more physical way. I'm a yoga teacher, trauma-informed, plus-size, accessible yoga teacher. The yoga class will be friendly for all levels. It'll just be like a short little yoga snack for you to kind of tune into the energies of this week. That's pretty much what we do here on my channel. It's all witchcraft and wellness and everything in between. If you enjoy that, hit that subscribe button. I put out these videos every week. I also put out full free yoga classes and tarot readings for every new moon and full moon. I also have a membership here. If you hit that join button, we do live yoga, live tarot, and live new moon and full moon workshops. There's also a ton of yoga challenges and witchcraft challenges in the membership as well that you get access to. Yeah, we're gonna get right on into the astrology here for this week. Again, June 9th through the 15th. Now, we have a lot of things in Gemini. It is Gemini season, so the sun is in Gemini. We also have Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter in Gemini. The one major transit that is happening this week is today, the day that I'm filming this, on June 9th, we have Mars moving from Aries into Taurus. And Mars is ruled by Aries. You know, Mars is our planet of passion, desire, action, sensuality and all that stuff. And in Aries, it's very aggressive. It's very, Aries-ish. It's very Mars-ish. It's the really kind of aggressive, fiery, passionate, like I wrote down in my notes, like it's more like sudden bursts of like passion and like the desire to move forward. And again, like just passion in general, passionate energy. It's like really short, sudden, kind of like explosive bursts of that. And Mars moving into Taurus is more sustained kind of action. I wrote long-lasting stamina instead of those like short bursts of like, aha, like it's a little bit more stable. It's a little bit more long-lasting. And this is, I think, a good energy. I wrote down determined, stubborn, present, stability. That's kind of the Mars and Taurus energy. So this can be good for, again, pursuing your passions, taking action. It's just a more sustained, stable energy to go and do the things that you're passionate about and to take that forward action. So I'm pretty excited for it. Again, with everything in Gemini, the energy is a lot of air energy, the Gemini energy of duality, of talking, of communication, of socializing, and also energy of, Gemini is a very intellectual sign. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, the planet Mercury. It's our communication, our technology, our travel. But Gemini has kind of the emphasis, I feel like, on education and like knowledge and just like writing, speaking, words, that kind of energy. I try to get to Barnes and Noble like once a month maybe. I just went the other day, I got a couple new books and find myself that I've been reading more and things like that. So that's kind of that Gemini energy. With Mercury and Gemini, you might be really chatty, might be really fun, flirty, wanting to connect, wanting to socialize. And same with Venus. Venus is our planet of love and beauty and attraction in Gemini, same kind of energy. And then Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter is our planet of expansion and success. And being in Gemini, it suggests that we might find, expansion and success when we're being in that Gemini energy, that air energy, and that really socializing, communicating, educating, all that kind of stuff. We also have, I am a lunar witch, like the moon phases. That's no moon, by the way, it's a Death Star, but it is moon phases. I mostly go with the moon and what phase of the moon we're in, what sign the moon is in. Now, if you couldn't tell, we literally just moved into a Leo moon. I myself am a Leo moon, and as soon as the moon moves into Leo, I'm feeling myself. I got my makeup done, my hair done. I'm like, nice. But we are moving from the day that I'm filming this from a Cancer moon into a Leo moon. We'll be in a Leo moon for a couple days, and then we have our first quarter moon in Virgo. So that you might kind of feel like that you want to get dressed up, that you want to go out, you want to do your hair, your makeup, go do stuff. With the Virgo moon at the end of the week, you might feel like you really want to clean, get organized, get grounded, all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty much it astrology wise. We're going to get into the tarot reading part of this. We already have at the bottom of the deck the Queen of Pentacles, which is really that Mars and Taurus energy. She is the Queen of Earth, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn vibes, and she is the Queen of the home and hearth. And I think it's very fitting that there's like a hair on this, and it kind of reminds me of the like is it an old wives' tale or the fable of the tortoise and the hare? Mars and Aries was like the hare, right? Mars and Aries was the hare of like in the race, like, you know, it's the hare versus the tortoise, and the hare just goes like super fast because he's like, well, I'm fast, I know I'm gonna win, and then he gets like distracted, like he takes a break because he's like, well, I'm just so fast, I'm gonna win, and then he gets distracted like talking to like his friends, and the tortoise ends up winning because slow and steady wins the race, right? That's kind of like the vibe of the Mars in Aries energy versus the Mars and Taurus energy. So, you know, the Queen of Pentacles, it's kind of like hunkering down in the home and hearth, being resourceful, being stable in your abundance, focusing on that more homey, grounded, abundant in the home kind of energy. So, you know, I'm going to shuffle these cards a bit. I'm also going to mention I do have, if you've been here for a while, you've probably heard me talk about it before. I have a business and social media coaching program. I've turned it into a self-paced course. I've had a lot of people ask for that. If you've been wanting to learn how to be a content creator, to do what I do, or if you have a small business and you're wanting to learn how to grow on social media, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, my Nourish Your Business course is now available self-paced. You know, you can learn basically the ins and outs of what I do if you want to start a business from scratch, if you want to be a content creator. You know, it literally comes with everything. It also comes with all my courses. So all my Nourish AF courses, yoga classes, my life coaching program, Nourish Life. It comes with like literally everything. And it's at a super, super low introductory rate. So if that's something you're interested in, the link will be in the description box below. That's all I'm going to say about that little shameless self-promotion. But we have here the Seven of Swords and the Three of Wands just kind of like flew out of the deck while I was shuffling. And the Seven of Swords, I feel like everybody is afraid of because, you know, it gets the bad rep of being a card of like lying, cheating, stealing. Well, yes, it can be. However, in this case and with the Three of Wands, the Seven of Swords is a card of innovation, of doing things differently. You can see here he is literally stealing these swords away from battle so they don't have to battle. He's like, well, if I take these swords, you guys can't fight. Beat them, got them, you know? And it's like with the Three of Wands, which is kind of a card of like a delay, not necessarily like a bad delay, but just kind of like taking your time to map out. You know, you can see this guy standing here looking over this cliff, sending out that falcon to kind of see what the heck's going on. If you find that, and that's that Mars and Taurus energy again of like, I'm going to take my time with my forward movement, with what I'm passionate about, with my desires, because I'm trying to figure out how to do this in the proper way. And that might need a little bit of innovation behind it. Honestly, the Seven of Swords is kind of giving me that Gemini energy of like, you know, maybe you want to learn a little bit more of something about what you want to do before you move forward. You want to educate yourself before you move forward. Try something in a different way. Learn new things before you start on that path. And the Three of Wands doesn't say that you're never going to start on that path or that you're forever delayed. It's like almost like an intentional delay so you can learn how to move forward properly in the best way. So I'm not entirely mad about that. What else we got going on this week? Two of Cups. That's honestly the energy that we just had. We just had a new moon in Gemini, and the Two of Cups was like the energy of that. Gemini is ruled by the Lovers in the tarot, and this is like the baby card to the Lovers, and you can see, look, they're getting all snuggly. The Two of Cups is, like I said, a great card for relationships, a new connection, but it's also about kind of how those connections come to be. And guess what? Those connections, when you have new connections, they come to be by putting yourself out there, by socializing, by like talking to people, by having conversations. It doesn't even have to be a romantic thing. It can just be you talking to new people, you getting out, socializing, being fun, being flirty, asking people questions, like, you know, getting to know other people. That was the energy last week with that Gemini new moon, and we still have all these things in Gemini, so that energy is carrying. So I recommend, you know, continuing that energy, continuing that momentum of that like socializing energy. I'm trying to. I had last week in the spirit of Gemini season and my attempt to get out and get social again, I had a vampire movie night with just a couple of friends. It was super awesome. I'm trying to make that a weekly thing. So, you know, I'm going to continue that momentum, but that's what we should be doing, you know? What else do we need to know? Whoa, this week I'm just throwing cards. It's fine. Page of Wands and the King of Cups. We're just going to casually ignore the towers at the bottom of the deck. I'm not entirely mad about it. But we have the Page of Wands and the King of Cups, you know, both masculine energy. Gender is irrelevant. It's just the energy. The Page of Wands, you can see here, he's like moving on. He's moving forward. Fire energy, Wands energy. Again, it's like, it's that, again, Mars and Aries versus the Mars and Taurus. I feel like the Mars and Aries, even though this is, you know, fire, so it is kind of Aries energy, I feel like that would be more so the King of Wands, like that, like kind of leveled up, really fiery, more intense fire energy. But this is the Page of Wands, a little bit more youthful, a little bit slower than, let's say, the Knight of Wands or the Queen of Wands or the King of Wands. It's still moving forward on passionate new adventures, but maybe you're moving a little bit more slowly. And you can see here on his little tunic, there's a bunch of little salamanders there. And in the tarot, and especially in the wands, the court cards all have those salamanders on them. And that represents kind of being protected from the fire. It's like taking the risk to follow your passions, to follow your wands energy, your passion, your creativity, to move forward. You know, we're protected when we decide to do that, when we decide to move forward. And that's kind of not opposed, but they're kind of opposite energies, the Page of Wands and the King of Cups, right? This is fire, this is water. And it's kind of the combination of this is very much like go on adventures leading with the heart. You know, the cups is the heart, the emotions, the feelings, the water. And the King of Cups is emotionally stable. You can see here he's on his throne. It's like in the ocean, right? And there's rocky waters around him. It's kind of like storming around him, but his throne is stable in the ocean. And it's like choosing head over heart, heart over head in this case seems to be favored, you know, to kind of follow your heart, follow your dreams as you go on this new adventure, tapping into that both water and fire energy, which like seem like opposing energies, but as someone who is mostly water and fire, I'm a Pisces Sun, Leo Moon, Sagittarius rising, that's the vibe. Like you move forward passionately, following and doing what you love, being a little, I call it confident delusion. So maybe you need a little bit of that in your life. Maybe need a little bit of confident delusion in your life. Whoop. All right, one more. Three of Swords. I'm not surprised, you know, to see the Three of Swords. I think we all get afraid of the Three of Swords. It's you know, there's like bad cards in the tarot. I don't really think there's any bad or good cards. It's just energy that we need to work with. But this is, you know, clearly a card of heartbreak. But this is the after tarot. You can see the swords are kind of falling out of this heart and it's kind of on the mend. The Three of Swords is a card of breakup, heartbreak, loss, grieving. You know, your heart is broken. And combined with all of the other cards here, it's like, and it's right underneath the Two of Cups. It's like, how do you mend a broken heart? You go out and you try to fix it by doing the things that you love, by socializing, by surrounding yourself with people you love. I've talked about this many, many times in the past few weeks because I've been going through, you know, a heartbreak, a loss, a grief. My soul dog passed away about 3 weeks ago, and it's been rough. And, you know, I cry about it every day. But, you know, in order to kind of not distract myself, but like quench that heartbreak, to kind of like fill my cup up again, I've been trying to connect with people. I've been trying to socialize, you know, hosting like vampire movie night, you know, connecting with people, trying to get out of the house and like trying to get out of this energy, because this is an energy that you can really get caught in and you can really linger in. And sometimes I need to. Look, I was in a depression hole for like 2 weeks. And then at some point you're just like, oh my God, I'm losing it because I've been in a depression hole for 2 weeks. So if you find that you are also in the depression hole, maybe try to get out, try to socialize a little bit, and see what comes of it. So let's just clarify with a few cards from, this is the Glow in the Dark Tarot. It's the same, you know, good old fashioned Rider-Waite deck. It's just glow in the dark and black and white. I'm really feeling like the duality of like the color versus the black and white. I think it's a very Gemini energy. If I swear to God, if I see the Five of Cups one more time, if you're in my membership, you know the Five of Cups is like my eternal stalker card, and right now the bane of my existence card. I pulled that card the night my dog passed away, and then on the first live that I did after I came back after taking a break, I pulled twice. In both of these decks, I pulled the Five of Cups, like for the initial reading and for the clarifying, and I was like, I get it. We're sad, we're grieving. Like, I understand. Yeah, Ten of Swords, not much better, but, you know, it's okay to feel like this sometimes. I guess this is the depression hole that we were just talking about, okay? Ten of Swords. Like, look at all those 10 swords in your back. You're done. You're over. 10 of Swords. It can also be a card of betrayal and like, you know, 10 swords in your back. It's not a fun energy to be in. However, it is a 10, which means the cycle is over. Like, it's the end of it, at least. It's like, there's the 2 of Cups again. How do we fix it? 2 of Cups, socializing, connecting, love, friendship. Knight of Swords. You gotta boldly go, my friends. Boldly go where no man has gone before. The Knight of Swords, you know, charges. He's literally charging. Like, he's the fastest moving knight. He's the one that's charging full force ahead. And sometimes we gotta do that. To get out of, like, this energy, we gotta just, like, force ourselves out of it. And it is very hard. It is much easier said than done to pull yourself out of that depression hole, to, like, force yourself to get out of that, like, doom spiral, but we got to do it because we don't want to exist in that place forever, you know? All right. Major themes for this week. I just know if you're struggling, I get it, friends. I was there, I'm still there, and it is not easy, but, you know, I have found that again, putting myself out there, kind of forcing myself to, like, be around people that I know are good people that are, like, kind of help me get out of my funk, doing things that I enjoy doing, you know, healthy coping mechanisms. And also, look, sometimes I need some unhealthy coping mechanisms. Like, it's fine as long as they're not destructive, you know what I mean? And it's just choosing the healthier coping mechanisms as we move forward. All right, major themes. Yep, we got release and we got veiled. You know, the future might not be, we don't know. We don't know. There is, as much as we like to think that we're in control, we are in fact not. And this is a reminder of that you can, you know, plan ahead for the future again. Like we started this with the 3 of Wands and the 7 of Swords. You can be, you know, trying to figure out the path ahead, trying to do things a little bit differently, trying to educate yourself as much as you can on how to do things properly as you move forward. But there's always that element of uncertainty, of not being sure what the future holds. And with release, it's like we kind of need to release that control. Control is an illusion, my friends. You're never gonna be able to control everything. Like, you know, I've been planning a lot in my life. I've been doing a lot of things in my business. I sold out like almost all my 2025 retreats. I'm planning a move to Salem in like 3 months. I'm doing all, like I said, just planning, moving forward, like all this stuff. And then my dog died. Cannot control that. Absolutely cannot control that. There's always an element of uncertainty and uncontrollable variables in our paths and as we go through life, but we have to release that like attachment to control, that attachment to being like, you know, that we can control every outcome. And I think with the 3 of Wands as well, like I said, the 3 of Wands is kind of a delay. It's like pausing before you move forward. And sometimes that fear, that uncertainty is what stops us. We get stuck in that 3 of Wands. We're like, I feel this like veiled energy, right? I feel that I don't know what lies ahead. So I just don't. So I just don't move forward because I'm scared. And I'm here to tell you that you got to be afraid and do it anyways, because shit's always going to happen that you cannot control. And as much as I wanted to give up after my dog passed, I'm still moving forward. You know what I mean? Safe travel. If you're traveling, we have the safe travel card. I think it's also, again, I was just talking about moving forward. Move forward. We talked about it with the Page of Wands and the Salamanders. You're protected as you move forward, protected from the flames, protected from the risk. And if you're literally traveling this week, always a good card to see. I'm like, am I traveling? No, I'm not traveling until like 2 weeks because I have my retreat in Sedona, which I'm very excited about. I host Witchcraft and Wellness retreats, in case you were wondering. I mostly do them in Salem, Massachusetts. I do have some spots available for my literally 2025 into 2026 New Year's Eve retreat. That's how far I'm booked out and how far I'm sold out, which is crazy. But I'll be in Sedona for my last desert Witchcraft and Wellness retreat in a couple weeks, which I'm super excited about. All right. Protection. What did I say? I was like, these cards kind of remind me of each other. Like, it's similar energies, and it's just that reminder that we're protected as we move forward. Meditate. I've been meditating a lot lately, just taking those kind of moments of stillness and mindfulness and silence to just, I think people think that meditation is the absence of thought. It's not. It's non-attachment, non-judgment to your thoughts. It's allowing yourself a safe place to think the things and be able to be like, you know what? I'm letting it go. I like to think about it as like clouds passing through in the sky when you're meditating. Like if you're just kind of watching, you're being an observer of your thoughts, right? It's not the absence of thought doesn't work, because then you're just like, I can't stop thinking, and then you get frustrated. That's not what meditation is. It is being a curious, non-attached, non-judgmental person of your own thoughts, an observer. Transmutation energy with the serpent, my friends, one of my favorite things. You know, I have a snake tattooed on my hand. I have it tattooed on my chest. I have a snake literally sitting right next to me. His name is Todd. You guys never see him because he's in his tank right next to my desk, but he's actually currently shedding too. Transmutation energy is taking one thing and transmuting it into another. And I really find this, especially I think transmutation specifically, because there's a difference between transformation and transmutation. Transformation is like the old is gone, completely gone, and there's something new. Transmutation is taking the old and shifting it into the new. Like there's still some remnants of the old. And I think I see it as, again, like I was saying, all this, we have grief, we have the Three of Swords, we have the Ten of Swords, heartbreak, grief, all these kind of bad things. And the ability to take and grow and build from the bad, I think is very magical. I think that's transmutation energy. The ability to take the grief and the loss and turn it into something wonderful. Again, way easier said than done, but I have done it multiple times. And I have lost significantly. I've lost my dad. I've lost a few dogs. I've, been divorced. I've gone through a lot. And I've been able, and I'm not saying this in like a braggy sort of way. It's been extremely difficult, and I wish I didn't have to go through it, but it is possible. It is possible to take like terrible, god-awful things and transmute them into something wonderful. So let that be, we'll end with that. I hope that this resonated. If it did, please feel free to leave a comment. Again, hit that subscribe button. I offer courses in witchcraft and wellness and yoga and all the things. I have ebooks for the moon phases, for witchcraft and wellness, for everything. I also offer personal readings. Like I said, if you're a small business or a content creator, an influencer, you want to be, even if you're starting from scratch, even if you've never used the apps before, that's what my business and social media coaching program is for everybody. It's accessible for all types of businesses, all types of content creators. If you just want to learn how to do what I do, you can get that now. It's called Nourish Your Business. Again, the link will be in the description box below. And I also have retreats that are selling out very fast. I have one last one for New Year's Eve next year, like literally 2025 into 2026 in Salem, Massachusetts. But all the links for everything will be in the description box below. We're going to go do some yoga now. You totally don't have to do the yoga class. You can skip it if you want, but I encourage you to try it even if you have never done yoga before. Friendly for all levels. We're going to go on back to the mat and flow it out, and maybe I'll see you there, or maybe I'll see you next time. All right, my friends, this is going to be our little yoga snack for this week. I'm really channeling the kind of Mars into Taurus energy, and also because like everything is in Gemini, I feel like we need to get grounded. Maybe just me, because I don't really have that many air sign placements. So when everything is in air signs, especially Gemini, I don't have any Gemini placements. I get very ungrounded, and with Mars moving into Taurus, I think kind of the combination of like the fiery Mars energy with the Taurus Earth energy is beneficial. So what we're going to do is an Earth salutation. I feel like we always hear in yoga sun salutations or Surya Namaskars, and we also have moon salutations, but we don't really do Earth salutations, and it is in fact a thing. So we're going to do a few Earth salutations today. It's similar to a sun salutation. It is a flow linking breath to movement, and then it's also, instead of a sun salutation is more standing, sometimes incorporates like a vinyasa, chaturanga. An Earth salutation incorporates downward facing dog, child's pose, puppy pose, a little bit of cat-cow. It's a very grounded energy because, again, Earth salutation, we're saluting the Earth. So we're just going to do about 3 of those, and that's what we got going on for today. So I recommend having any props that you need for your practice around. My strap's kind of like all over the place. I like using my yoga blocks. Also my handy dandy assistant Jack here, he will not leave my side since we lost his brother, so he is now my assistant in all my yoga classes. So he's actually sleeping in his brother's bed, but yeah, we'll see how he does through this class. Sometimes he's fine, sometimes he's not. So I have my blocks here. I like to use these for my sun salutation, for my hands, because I'm only 5'1". I gotta reach the ground somehow. So I have my blocks here, but any props that you need for your practice, please feel free to set yourself up for success. Remember to listen to your body. Everything I say is an option, not an order. So do what feels best for you. I'm gonna give you a ton of variations. And again, this is all levels friendly. Do what feels best for you. So we're gonna get started at the top of our mats in our Tadasana, or our mountain pose. So I'm standing nice and tall. My feet are hips distance apart, or wider or shorter, whatever feels good for you. My arms are at either side of my body. Active hands, active fingers. My palms are facing forward, like I'm shooting energy out of my hands, like Iron Man. And you can keep the eyes open or closed, whatever feels good. And we're just going to start to bring our awareness to our breath. Not changing anything about it just yet, just noticing as it goes in and out. Taking a moment to connect to our mats, to our bodies, to this present moment. As you breathe, maybe noticing what happens in the body as you breathe. So perhaps on the inhale, the shoulders rise, the chest expands, the belly expands, taking up space. And on the exhale, a gentle release, a gentle relaxation in the body. And as you continue to deepen and lengthen these inhales and exhales, maybe just taking a moment of meditation, as I kind of mentioned earlier, of just being an observer of your thoughts, of just taking a moment to check in, ask yourself how you're doing, to get curious, to practice non-judgment, non-attachment, just notice things as they go by, be an observer of the thoughts in your mind, letting them pass on by like clouds in the sky. And if perhaps you feel yourself getting a little bit too attached, just bring the focus back to your breath. Really big inhales in, and a really big exhales out. We'll start to invite in some movement here, just starting with some half sun salutes to warm the body up. We're going to inhale, reach those arms up overhead, lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold forward over the legs. Now in this forward fold, you can do what feels good. If you want to widen the feet to honor and make space for the belly and thighs, you can. You can sway from side to side. You can grab for opposite elbows, taking your time, spending a few breaths here. We're just getting warmed up. Gently coming to stillness, you can bring your hands to blocks or to shins. Press into them. Inhale for that halfway lift, flat spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reach and rise to standing. And exhale those hands to heart. We'll do two more just like that. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach and rise to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, finding that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, reach and rise to standing. And exhale, hands to heart center. Now, my friends, this is where we're going to add on and do that earth salutation. So it's similar to our sun salutation. We'll do the first one together a little bit slower, and then the second one we'll link breath to movement. So standing in my Tadasana mountain pose, I'm grounding through the feet, grounding with the earth. Maybe squeeze the mat with your toes, or lift up all 10 toes and bring them back down. I'm going to inhale, reach my arms up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Now, this is where we find our downward facing dog. Now, if you'd like, you can put your hands on blocks. If you have wrist pain, this kind of helps in your downward facing dog. So you're either bringing your hands to the blocks or to your mat, pressing the palms down and stepping the feet back into our downward facing dog. So this is what it looks like with the blocks. Or again, if you don't need the blocks, we're pressing palms into the mat, pressing our hips up and back to the wall behind us. We're encouraging our heels down. They don't have to touch, but just encouraging them down. Pressing your chest through your shoulders towards the tops of the thighs. And we're here in our downward facing dog. Now you can find some movement here if you'd like, pedaling the feet, shaking the head, shaking the hips. And we're really grounded through both the feet and through the hands, tapping into that earth energy, pressing into the earth. Now we're going to take an inhale here, exhale, bending into the knees, bringing the knees as wide as the mat and sinking the hips to the heels, finding a child's pose. This is the next phase in our earth salutation, sinking all the way down to the earth. Our balasana, or our child's pose, to me is like the most grounded posture besides just like a prone savasana. So we're connecting completely with the earth here, taking a moment to honor the earth. Now on the next inhale, you can rise to a tabletop. Again, a posture very connected with the earth here. Our hands are connected with the earth, our legs are connected with the earth, our shoulder, elbow, wrist are stacked, our hips are stacked over the knees. We'll find just one cat-cow here. So I inhale, lift my chin, open up my heart, arching the back, maybe sticking the booty out. Exhale, now I'm rounding, tucking my chin to chest, tucking my pelvis, doming out the shoulders. Inhaling back to a neutral spine, and then on the exhale, I'm tucking my toes and finding my downward facing dog once again. I'm going to inhale, gaze to the top of my mat. Now on the exhale, I'm going to travel to a forward fold. Lots of ways you can do that. You can take some baby steps forward. You can take some baby steps with your hands back. Or you can take a big old step forward into a forward fold. However you get there. We're going to meet in our forward fold. Inhale for our halfway lift, flat spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach and rise to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, my friends. That was our earth salutation. Now we're going to do that one more time. And we're going to link our breath to our movement. So it might go a little bit faster, but you take it at your own pace. You follow your own breath. Standing in our Tadasana mountain pose, we inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, find that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, planting the hands, stepping back to our downward facing dog. Inhaling here. Exhale, finding that child's pose. I'm going to spend one breath in this child's pose just to really connect with the earth. And then on the next inhale, I'm going to lift to my tabletop, exhaling here. Inhale, opening up for my cow pose. Exhale, rounding for my cat pose. Inhaling back to a neutral spine. Exhale, tucking the toes, finding a downward facing dog. Inhale, gazing up to the top of my mat, to my hands. Exhale, traveling into a forward fold, however you want to get there. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach and rise to standing. And exhale, hands to heart center. I think we'll do just one more of those My friends, same thing, linking breath to movement. Flow with your breath. Do what feels good. We'll do one more earth salutation together. Inhale, reach those arms up overhead. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant those hands. Step on back to your downward facing dog. Inhaling here. Exhale, find that child's pose. Spend a nice, good, deep breath here, connecting with the earth. Inhale, we come up to that tabletop. Exhaling here. Inhale for our cow pose. Exhale for our cat pose. Inhale back to that neutral spine. Exhale, tuck those toes, lift those hips up and back. Find your downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze to the top of the mat. Exhale, go ahead and travel to your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach and rise to standing. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Take a moment here, my friends. Find your breath. Stand tall in your Tadasana mountain pose. Our feet are still grounded into the earth. This is where I will leave you, my friends, in a standing Savasana. I encourage you to spend as much time as you want here, at least 5 to 10 breaths. You're welcome to find any other Savasana. You're welcome to do more earth salutations, or you're welcome to just walk right off your mat and go about your day. I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for flowing with me, and I'll see you next time.